There's just something about the golden age of arcades which really is pretty awesome, and as more and more companies jump onto the "it's now cool to be into retro games" fad, there are certain classics that stand head and shoulders above the rest. I personally like to look at these classic games and names, or should I say brands, in comparison to the biggest names of rock and roll. Stuff like the 11 by 13 pixel yellow circle is probably the most iconic and can be seen in direct comparison to something like the Rolling Stones, I suppose. And heck, this little chubby face has no doubt been put on more items of clothing than that band's logos. And yes, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people that just see it as cool retro without actually knowing what it means. I mean, come on, seriously, who wants to ask this chick what her favourite Rolling Stones track is? Regardless, what I'm trying to say is that the biggest names of the arcades are so incredibly iconic, and even though some of us may not be old enough to remember a time when beer-stained and cigarette-stained, sometimes not even working arcade machines actually meant you was having the time of your life, you can now at least try and recreate it yourself. Just like I'm doing with the earlier previewed Pac-Man quarter arcade machine. There's a card up there for you guys that want to see that one. And now, with the Galaga quarter arcade machine. And guys, if Pac-Man with its cool, smooth and instantly recognisable artwork is the Rolling Stones of the golden age of arcade, Galaga is in my opinion the far more in your face Kiss equivalent. What do I mean by that? Well, just look at it. It's dark, it's menacing, it's less kidified due to not having something like Pac-Man Fever completely overtaking it, but still, with all that said, you can see its name in flashing lights. It's just so incredibly iconic and luring to every single person that sees it. Numskull Designs, the guys behind this, the earlier previewed Pac-Man model, as well as plenty of upcoming machines as well, which yes, I will be getting, invited me to visit their brand new offices to try this machine before it was released. They also showed me these. These are the new TUBBZ toy line, which I gotta say, you know, they're pretty cool. Any fans of Funko or Daubs or whatever will no doubt get a kick out of these things, especially the Street Fighter set, because, well, I didn't actually know I wanted a hashtag cosplaying duck of Blanca, and now I kinda do. Oh my god, would you look at this? That's me as a TUBBZ duck. Yep, that's something that happened. If you like these sort of things, I highly suggest going to find me over on Instagram, as I've taken loads of pictures from that visit and a recent hub reveal in London with people like Ashins, Nostalgia Nerd, Octavius, Quang, Tristabytes, King Monkey, and plenty of other people as well. It was just a load of fun, and guys, like I said, if this is your thing, you're probably going to get quite a big kick out of this. Anyway, I think it goes without saying as I show you these disco light covered machines that they look shit hot, and when you compare them to the original arcade machines you can see just how perfectly they've actually managed to design these cabinets. Some of you may not realise, but arcade machines are not all built exactly the same, and this isn't just the Pac-Man machine with some new stickers on top of it. They have taken the dimensions and pushed it down to around about quarter of the size, hence the name. And for those that haven't ever played any of these quarter arcade machines, I know what you're thinking. They are going to be too small, right? Well, maybe for some of you they might be, but I gotta say, after seeing plenty of reviews from other reputable tubers and seeing plenty of people actually playing them, the issue is completely non-existent. If they was any smaller, then, you know, perhaps yes, size would be an issue. But thankfully, these are just right. I mean, you're never going to want to line these up and play them next to a line of people. Obviously, they're way too small for that. But thankfully, these little devices actually have internal batteries included, which means you can pull them away from their resting place and play away. Don't ask me what the battery life is on these things. I just know if it's anything like the Pac-Man machine that I've previously reviewed, they last a stupidly long time. The screen is a 5-inch LCD, obviously, and not a big fat tube TV like the original arcade units. It's set to a 4x3-inch display. It's got adjustable audio, which you can control at the back of the machine. The design, as already stated, is as spot on as it can be. The marquee is backlit and looks awesome when you boot it up, and see all of that random jargon that shows up on the screen as you you turn it on just like the original arcade unit, and absolutely best of all, this arcade unit actually has dip switch settings. When the game is loading up, when all of that jargon is showing up on the screen, push player 1 and 2 at the same time, and you can adjust the dip switch settings. Change the amount of lives you get, change the amount of score you would get whilst playing the game. All of these are adjustable to fit your play style, just like they would be in that original unit. And guys, if you haven't already clicked the link below to pre-order one, well, you're probably not going to, are you? This is a luxury item. For me, when I get my games room complete, it's going to sit stunningly under the neon lights and be powered up every time I have people round for drinks. When put alongside your record collection or retro games, it looks like it fits. I'm obviously a big fan of not only the machine, but obviously the game itself, and yes, I do think it's a worthwhile purchase. Now, the price. Pac-Man was the best part of £150, and this is the best part of £130. For me, I don't think that's too expensive. It's essentially the same as 2 or 3 at a push, AAA titles, and it's going to last a hell of a lot longer than Medal of Gears 17 Premium Edition, that's for sure. For the right sort of person, it's a cool item to get. And now that I have 2 of these things, yep, I've caught the bug. Time to pre-order the other 5.